Me, 32, my fiancé, 34, and my sister, 16, are living together. My sister came out as trans at 14 and has been given a hard time for it from our parents. Our parents' house has been damaged, floods in Germany, and it turns out that they cannot move back in due to the mass amount of mold. Me and my fiancé have only got space for one extra person, and we decided it would be better for my sister to move in. Well, during her stay, my mother decided to disown her for being trans. Disgusting. I sat down with my fiancé that night and had a long chat. We ended up adopting my sister, and I haven't seen her smile like that in years. Turns out, our father had been more supportive quietly, making it possible for my sister to start estrogen. None of us are quite sure how, but he works in the medical field, so maybe he pulled some strings. We continued the treatment and she feels far more comfortable in her body. Well, me and my fiancé are getting married in a week and my mother came over to visit us. She flipped when she saw my sister looking more feminine than she remembers and demanded that she be the boy she used to be at the wedding. Tuxedo and the likes. My fiancé went nuts. Screamed at her for invalidating my sister, for trying to control someone who isn't even her custody, for trying to control the wedding. I joined in and it turned into a shouting match. My sister quietly said that she can be the boy she used to for one day, which is when I turned to her and said that she can dress however she likes, because that witch isn't going to come to the wedding. Mum left and I apologized to my sister for raising my voice like that, for I felt that she was very uncomfortable. I have been bombarded with messages from my maternal family about I inviting her and feeding into her son's delusion. It's been getting a bit too much for me, and I'm starting to lose sleep. Should I have been kinder? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. 1. Your mother lost the right to have any day in your sister's upbringing when she disowned her. 2. Your fiancé's response is the response of a decent human being who is free of your mother's manipulation. 3. Don't listen to the comments from people who heard the story from your mother. I doubt they got an accurate description. They are called flying monkeys for a reason. 4. This is your wedding and this is about what makes you happy. It is not unreasonable for everyone attending to accept your choice of dress for your sister, and everyone else can shut the hell up. So, say you do invite your mother, is she likely to fake a smile and act civil? Or is she going to be bitter and transphobic and generally ruin everybody's good time? Is your sister going to be comfortable with your mother there? Or is she going to feel like she has to go back in the closet? Do you want to spend the days leading up to what should be a joyful celebration, worrying about how your mother is going to behave? The fact of the matter is, she has shown who she is, and your gut reaction was that you didn't want that type of person to celebrate with you. That's a perfectly fair assessment. My maternal parental unit was a narcissist, conniving, brutal, and a disgrace to humanity. She was specifically not invited nor involved in my wedding. This isn't about anyone else but her, in her book. Let go. Go low contact or no contact for the sake of your sister. To have someone, especially a sibling, to stand by you in the most trying time of her life right now is outstanding, and don't you forget that your dad I'd also try to help her. But jumping Jehoshaphat, get that horrible woman out of your lives. Not the idiot. I, 38, have 3 kids, 13, 2 16-year-olds, 1 male 1 female. They are twins. All 3 of my kids have friend groups and are dating. 16s have been dating the same people and have been friends with generally the same group since middle-late school. 13 just recently got a girlfriend and only has 1 friend at the moment. Me and my husband, 42, have always been fine with their partners and friends coming over as long as they shoot us a text first. Our only rule is that there is no bringing a new person over every single day, no staying up past 1 a.m. max. Recently, my husband has been trying to change our family dynamic a lot, family breakfast and dinner instead of our usual grab and go to our room, constant outings and game nights, etc. We have family time often, but not to this extent, 4 or 5 times a week now. Last week, he proposed the idea of a family meeting to me. We have never had one of these, never needed to. If something needs to change, we just talk about it whenever we're all free. He discussed this to me in private. I told him I hated the idea. The meeting was apparently supposed to be about how he no longer wanted our children to have company over and that he doesn't want any outside kids in our house. All of my children have very sweet friends, some of them even offer to wash dishes after dinner, kind of sweet. None of them are loud, messy, bad influences, etc. Maybe a few swears and inappropriate talk, but I chalk that up to them being teenagers. He asked me to keep this a secret, that it was mandatory, and he'd tell the kids the night before. I was pissed. I also had to be forced to a family meeting because he refused to even budge about it being mandatory, so I ended up chatting to a friend about it over the phone. Turns out my 13 was listening in, and I told her about it since she asked. My 16s then joined in, we all talked about it together and agreed it was a weird unwanted change. Kids asked me to talk with him about it because they thought it was unfair they all of a sudden couldn't have friends over for some unstated reason. I told my husband the full story. I also told him that everyone thought it was unnecessary for it to be a meeting and mandatory, that he should have just told us all up front if he had an issue with any friends, etc. Husband blew up about how this meeting was incredibly important, still refused to say why it was, and that we would all be coming whether we liked it or not no matter what. The meeting is in 2 days. I don't want to fully blow my husband off, since this is apparently important, but since he refuses to tell us all what the actual issue is, I want to just take my kids out of the house for this appointed meeting, unless he actually tells me what his issue with our children's company is. I see no true point in it if all guests are respectful and haven't made trouble. Not the idiot. Seems like your husband is having issues with control within the family. Refusing to communicate unless at a time that he dictates. Mandatory family time taking up more of everyone's time and refusing to allow his children's friends over. At an age where your children should be gaining, not losing independence. Your husband is either taking a nasty controlling turn or, hopefully, is just struggling with his family growing up and isn't adjusting well. I'd vote for malicious compliance in this instance. You and the kids turn up to his Dumbus family meeting and politely and silently let him say his piece. Then take a vote on whether you agree or not, and it's going to be not, isn't it? Otherwise there wouldn't be all this secrecy pantomime. If he protests, cheerfully say okay, well feel free to raise this again at the next family meeting in 1 month's time. We look forward to hearing any new arguments and evidence then. Meeting adjourned, then you all get up and go. You and your husband are supposed to be equal partners. Your position is just as valid and just as important as his. He doesn't get to rule unilaterally over your objections. It's not 1950, where he's the very important head of household who just makes demands, and you're the little wifey who does as she's ordered. It sounds like he's going through something and needs some heart-to-heart convos about the family. He probably needs some help with something. But he's not the family dictator and needs to calm down. You're 100% within your rights to have your own opinions and involve your teenage kids in major family decisions that affect you all. My 26 sister Maya, 25, is engaged to a man from a Middle Eastern culture. We were raised with no religion or big ethnic customs. Her wedding is set for March 2022. I also just got a save the date for one of my college friends on the same date in a different part of the country. Now normally it'd shame to miss a friend's wedding, but sister probably overrules friend. The thing is, her wedding is going to be in the custom of her fiancé's family, which is to segregate based on sexes and not allowing alcohol. Meaning I'd have to be totally sober and not even allowed to hang out with my girlfriend. That sounds like a boring time for both of us. My friend's wedding is more normal American in that there's no separations and it's an open bar. My girlfriend and I are both pretty good friends with the bride and groom, and it will be so much more fun. I told Maya I'm not comfortable with the setup of her wedding and I'm going to go to my friend's instead, and she's super pissed at me. I told her if they have a more normal one I'd go, but I'm not going to spend money traveling and for a hotel to be sober for a weird wedding and not even be allowed to dance with my girlfriend when I could go to a good friend's wedding and have a great time instead. My parents are kinda with me too. My dad said I should put my girlfriend first and agrees it won't be nearly as good of a time. My mom isn't exactly thrilled about the culture Maya's marrying into, it's very sexist, and said well she's sad I won't be in the pictures, she gets it. Maya however has not taken it well and keeps texting me about it, accusing me of not only being a bad brother, but of being xenophobic. That's not accurate, as if it was another culture that allowed men and women to spend time together at weddings or Atlas drink I'd go, but this is just weird. Right now I'm just leaving her on red while I think of what to say. When I say segregated, I don't just mean the seating to eat. It's separate rooms for the entire event. Not the idiot. You would not see your sister get married, you might not even be at the same venue as your sister because you are different sexes. So what would be the point? There would be no supporting her or anything else. Also, regardless of what some folks have been saying, in a wedding this traditional, your girlfriend would potentially be in an uncomfortable place. The younger generation isn't as xenophobic, but neither are the weddings as segregated. So if your sister is marrying into a devout traditional family, your girlfriend will be in a very awkward position because there is active and historical animosity between the cultures for much longer than the current conflict has been around. You're the idiot. I agree that the sexism sounds problematic, but that isn't even the objection you stress here. You mostly seem concerned that because you wouldn't be able to drink or dance with your girlfriend, it wouldn't be fun. For your information, there are other reasons to go to your own sister's wedding, besides it being the most fun thing going on that weekend. Imagine you married your girlfriend, and your sister said it didn't sound fun enough, so she didn't care about missing your big day. I think there are legit reasons to not feel comfortable here, but you seem to focus on aspects that are all about you and your entertainment. No idiots here. I think you know it won't go down well to skip your sister's wedding. You go to support the person getting married, not just to have fun. In my experience, the ceremony can be a bit boring at Muslim weddings, but a lot of people are willing to be fun and social afterwards. The wedding is short. I don't think 1 hour split from girlfriend is the end of the world. Ask your sister what if the things that matter to her will be incorporated. How will she be respected that day? What are her expectations after the wedding concludes? 8 months ago my sister found out she was not our mom's bio kid. Our dad was married to her bio mom, and her mom died soon after she was born. Dad met mom when she was 13 months old, and mom adopted her, and they decided to raise her believing she was mom's kid. They cut out her grandparents and extended family because they wouldn't go along with being just family acquaintances. My sister told me they were in her life for a while, but once dad met mom they wanted no other mom in my sister's mind. So they decided they couldn't be grandparents or aunts and uncles either. It all had to be just like general people, not family. Grandparents' rights weren't a thing in our state at the time, and so they could just shut them out and act like they never existed. The only kind of hint we ever had looking back is when my sister needed a birth certificate for something. When we were kids we were not allowed to help look. Our parents were actually mad at us for trying to help. At the time it was weird, but we didn't think about it too hard. Looking back now it is more clear. My sister found out when her cousin tracked her down on Facebook and made contact. It was a whirlwind. She was hurt, mad, felt betrayed and questioned how she could deal with the news. She ended up making contact with her mom's family, and it's been going really well. She and our parents fight a lot. They wanted her to make no contact. They said it wasn't fair on mom who raised and loved her and is her real mom. That she didn't need those people. It got nasty. My parents keep talking about how much they're struggling with this and how hurt they are. She reached out to them. I snapped the other day and told them their feelings don't get to go first here. Hers do, because she's the one who found out this big secret. I also told them we both find it weird too. My sister has a whole family I'm not part of, and she's learning to come to terms with the fact there was a woman who loved her so goddamn much, and our dad and mom just completely, utterly erased her, and everyone else from her life who could have loved her too. My parents told me I was cold and uncaring toward them. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but your parents are. Your sister's bio mom is dead. She didn't get a say in that. Chances are she would be in your sister's life loving her more than anything, but she didn't get a chance. Neither the maternal relatives because your parents cut them off unfairly. There was nothing wrong knowing she has 2 moms, and one is sadly an angel. But your parents took it away from your sister. She has every right to know her maternal side of the family, and your parents lost their chance to have a say in that. Not the idiot. Your parents seemingly took away your sister's bio mom's family just so they didn't have to deal with them. I'm not entirely sure on any legal implications this has, but your sister having to find out that her whole life has been built on lies carries more weight than what your parents selfishly want. Again, my judgment has no basis in legalities because I'm not thoroughly familiar with any, but I think she should be able to interact with her bio mom and family if she wants to, and it goes well. To me, this issue looks to pertain to her more than your parents at this point in time, so she should be able to make her own decisions. I'm an adoptee whose parents told me at 24 years old. I've processed this. Your parents betrayed your sister by lying about her origin to make a perfect nuclear family. This only benefited them. It was for appearance and emotional security, so long as the lie stayed a secret. Now the secret is out and they're upset. It sounds like they have no way of seeing it from her and her birth mom's family's side of what they went through to protect your parents' feelings. Your parents will not be able to repair the relationship until they accept reality. You're a good sibling for standing up for your sister. My fiancé and I are about to get married next 3 months. I wanted to have these dishes on my wedding: shrimp, stuffed crabs, and some grilled meat. We also included fruits, drinks, and pasta. While we are busy accomplishing our wedding must-haves, I heard from my dad that my stepmother is upset about how I'm obviously telling her that I don't want her in my wedding because of my decisions. She said that if I cared about her, then I would have taken notes that 1. She is allergic to shrimp, and 2. She is vegan. My dad advised that we should cater for vegan options. I don't know much about these types of dish or how to make vegan versions of other foods. What I only know is that vegans eat salad, fruits, and anything without animal meat. So, I approached her and informed her that we did include fruits and drinks to the menu. I offered to reserve a single bowl of salad just in case fruits aren't her thing. She then told me that I'm a bitch for only offering her fruits and salad, and that if I really cared, then I would have researched for more food options and not just feed her grass. I was willing to take out and reserve a restaurant-made solo dish, but her attitude towards me made me think that she doesn't deserve to be in my wedding. I don't know whether I should spend time researching on where to buy takeout vegan dishes or simply serve what I can give. You're the idiot. Yes, it's your day and all that. But it's also on you as host that your guests have a good time and get fed properly. Chances are good that other guests have allergies or are vegetarians or vegans, and there should be accommodation for them. You don't have to do research, you're having a caterer talk to them. I doubt they'll have any trouble putting something together. When I got married we had to have both vegan and gluten-free options, and it was not a problem at all. The point of the wedding celebration is to literally celebrate the new marriage with your family and friends. If it was only about celebrating the bride and groom, they would have a private dinner or activity. Once you decide to invite someone to actually come, you go out of your way to ensure, at the very least, there is a full meal that could not kill them. It's one simple call to the caterer. With all the dietary requirements people have, caterers are used to these requests. You don't have to put one piece of effort in researching anything. That's the catering company's job, and letting them know about the shrimp allergy so there is no cross-contamination. I am going to use a phrase: strategic incompetence is the art of avoiding undesirable tasks by pretending to be unable to do them, which is actually what you are doing by pretending you know nothing about how to obtain vegetarian dishes and how to call a catering company.